Hello, and welcome to the stream. If you're watching this live, hello. If you're watching this after, of course, hello. I don't even know why I'm wearing these. I'm going to take them off. We're going to talk about the game yesterday. Of course, the 3-1 win against Wolves. A very good performance, a very good win. A win that we needed as well. A massive win that we did need. I'm just happy that we got the 3 points. I think we played well. Not the best performance, of course, but I think we did well. I think we did pretty well defensively, like always. I think we're pretty solid defensively, and we're going to be solid defensively across the whole season, which is very good. And then we looked dangerous in attack. We actually scored some goals. We scored 2 goals from open play and an absolute beautiful free kick. But we scored 2 open play goals, not just one. We scored 2. As I've already said, as I said before the game, we love the Molyneux. We absolutely love the Molyneux. That's 4 goals scored in 2 games and now 3. So what's that in the last 3 times at the Molyneux? We won 4-3, so that's 4 goals. And then we won 4-2, so that's 8. We've scored 11 goals in the last 3 games against Wolves. That's a stat. That's a stat that, So yeah, great work against Wolves. We always seem to do very well against them. The performance overall I was happy with. Of course, the first 10 minutes, even the first 10 minutes actually, like they scored, yeah. But I thought we looked dangerous in attack, and I thought we were the better team at the start of the game. They caught us on the counter. They did some good, there was a good passing play that they had when they scored. But I think we played well early on, even like before they scored. And then it was one of those things about all of us had that same thing of, we're playing well, but we've conceded early in this game and we haven't scored all season. So I think that's when everyone kind of went, oh, no, you know what's going to happen. But no, we stayed strong. We attacked and we got some goals. And, all the goals were good goals. The header, the opener, and then the free kick. I mean, amazing. And then the Okafor goal, just good football from Leeds United, and it's only going to build confidence that we can attack and score goals and stuff. So I'm excited for how we're going to take this into the next 2 games, which are 2 tough games, which, if I know you shouldn't think this, but I expect to lose both. So if we get any points, like if we get a draw in one of the next 2, that's just bonus points in my opinion, because I don't think we should be getting any points against Bournemouth or Spurs, because I think they're 2 very good teams. Bournemouth, I think, a very tough team to score against. I think, Semenyo's been unbelievable at the start of the season. He's a worry, of course. But we'll get into that later, of course, when we do the preview. It's next week, yeah, and then we got Spurs. So, and then we got another international break, which is annoying. We kind of don't want international breaks, but fucking they're so boring. I hate them. But yeah, we'll start off with what Daniel Farke had to say after the game. So we'll get into what he had to say after the game. I actually know nothing about what he said. I don't look at anything he says, and then the next day I'll go, okay, I'm going to look at it and I'm going to react to it. So Daniel Farke spoke. He firstly said, dominant first half, clinical edge, excellent goals. All true. Yep, we were dominant in the first half. And then, yeah, good. We got finishing, clinicalness. We took our chances. Key was confidence in our start. We wanted to dominate this game. Sadly, mistakes was punished in not tracking the run. Crucial, we did not dwell on this. Kept belief in the processes, which is true. Like, the game started and their goal came from not tracking your runners. I think it was Longstaff didn't track his runner, and then they got in behind and scored. But then after that, we just built and just continued playing the way we were. We didn't panic, and then we got into the game. We were the better team throughout the entire first half. Got 3 goals. Build that confidence, and we kept the belief basically, like Farke is saying, which I'm happy with that. The next thing I have to say. He said it would have liked more possession and control in the second half. They were throwing everything at it. See, this is the thing. People are going to say, oh, we parked the bus, we went defensive. But we're very good defensively. So in some games, we might do that. If we get an early scrappy goal against like one of the top big teams, one of the top teams in the league, then we might do that. We might actually sit back and try and defend the lead, because our defense has been that good this season that I'll back us to defend Leeds. But this game wasn't that. As Farke said, they threw on a bunch of players. I think they went more. There was at some point they basically towards the end of the game they just went for it. But even at the start of the second half, they made a couple of subs and they kind of just went for it because they had to come back in the game being 3-1 down. At halftime, and that's what's going to happen. They're going to bring on their subs, which is going to make us not able to, it's going to make us having to we're gonna have to weather the storm with the new players coming on, because we weren't gonna change anything. You know, we weren't gonna make subs at all because we didn't need to. Like, we didn't need to make the subs, but they made their subs, and we knew that we have to weather the storm, which we did, and that was basically the whole second half, really. But I thought even the second half, you know, we had some chances, but like defensively, were we ever like troubled? Like, actually, if you think about it, were we ever troubled? There might have been like one or two chances where we were troubled. Darlow made a great save, for one of them, and I just feel like I'm confident with us defensively. But yeah, I just thought we did well. You know, you have players like Aronson who's going to track back and defend and stop crosses, which is something that you need in this team, and I think he did a very good job. Then, you know, you got the back four, who I trust that back four. I mean, they've been brilliant this season. Bogle, Strauch, Rodon, and Goodmanson. You know, I think they've all been great this season. They've all done their job. They've all had a, you know, I don't think besides Arsenal, where everyone was poor, none of them have had a bad performance, in my opinion. Daniel Fark then went on to say, actually, no, we didn't. We were always we always reacting in the second half. But I like we showed defensive steel, a good in our own box. Hard fought and tight, but deserved. I mean, yeah, we deserved the 3 points. We were the way better team, and yeah, we just held that lead. I mean, if you look at the graph, basically the first half is mostly Leeds United, and then you got the second half, which is just all Wolves, basically. Besides, like, a little bit that we got, then the attacking momentum is basically all Wolves in that second half. But yeah, I like that performance. And yeah, I just think the thing is, this attacking movement doesn't make sense to me, because it's all Wolves, right? But I didn't feel like it was like that. I thought Wolves had more of the possession, but I didn't think it looked that bad. Like, it didn't look that bad. Like, watching it live, I thought we still had some chances in the second half. Like, we weren't defend, brooded away, defend. We were just causing them trouble in the second half as well. Where was I up to? Daniel Faulkner went on to say, never in doubt we would score. Just the efficiency was missing in the first 4 games, which is true. You know, the first 4 games, we did have chances. We just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. 4 games without scoring, and I wonder what the hell was Goodmanson doing in passing rather than shooting 5 minutes in. That's true. I mean, I don't think he should have shot, because he got in the box, and then he kind of just hit it across the box. I mean, Goodmanson probably thought, oh yeah, someone will be across the box, I'm just going to put it in the danger area. He should have looked up and saw DCL was kind of too close to him. Because really where DCL should have been is where Goodmanson put the ball. You know, where the striker should be is running across the box towards not towards the back stick, but further towards the middle of the goal, so it comes across and he taps it in. But he was more like closer. He was like near Goodmanson, basically where the near post was. So he was closer to him. He should have really looked up, saw no one across the goal, and then tried to like play it backwards. In my opinion, but you know, he tried that. It wasn't a bad idea if someone was there. I mean, if someone's there to tap in, but maybe you're looking at that. Maybe he should have just had to go after, especially what he did. But yeah, Daniel Fark then went on to say, it's too early to provide a firm update on Bogle. So this is about Bogle, who went off, of course, injured towards the end of the game. It is too early to provide a firm update on Bogle. Opponent studs landed on his foot, and it's very swollen. Hopefully it's not bad, but won't know more until the next few days. Which is, you know, if he's not available, hopefully if he is injured, hopefully it's not a long injury, and hopefully it's like a 1 match, maybe 2 matches he might be out for. You know, I'm looking at that and I'm like, if he is, James Justin's is good enough to come in. We have a backup that's good enough in James Justin that I trust that can play there. You know, I'm fine with that. But yeah, it would be a bit bad if it's a long-term injury. We don't want it to be a long-term injury. Like, I don't think James Justin's a bad player, and I think he'll come in and do a job. But I do want to see Bogle back in the team. I think he's the better player out the two. But yeah, it's one of those things of like, if it's an injury where he's going to be out for maybe 1 or 2 games until the international break, that's fine. But it's one of those of like, long-term, you don't want it to be a long-term injury, especially because then if James Justin gets injured, you got no one else. So yeah, it's fine. Hopefully Bogle's fine. Hopefully the news actually comes out before in the next couple of days. He's going to be fine and available. He's going to be fine and available for Bournemouth. Daniel Fark then went on to say, the narrative in the club changes every week, which is true. With 7 points, everyone will now discuss Europe. Get the passports out, boys. We're going on a European tour. Football is emotional, and people can fear the worst after a loss. I am glad we sent them home to a nice weekend. We stay humble. They can dream a bit. Yeah, that's true. I mean, before the game, everyone was like, relegation. Oh, we're going to be in the relegation zone soon. We're going to be in the relegation zone soon. Oh, and then we go 1-0 down, and people are like, Fark's not good enough, sack him. You know, we're getting relegated. And then a 3-1 win later, and we're on 7 points in 11th in mid table. And the narrative changes. You know, you look at the league table as well. Like, all you have to do is just look at the league table now, and it looks so much more comfortable for us. I know it's early on, right? But you look at us all the way up on 7 points. You have Wolves on 0, so they're 7 points behind us, which is a massive gap in the Premier League. That's a massive gap to make up, 7 points. You got Aston Villa, who are on 2 points, who haven't even scored a goal this season yet. They play today still, so they haven't played their game, but they're on 2 points. So they're still, they're still 5 points behind us. And then you got West Ham, who are 4 points behind us. You know, then you got West Ham, who are 4 points behind us. And you look at that, and that's the relegation zone. And then you look at the teams above, you got, Brentford and Burnley. You got Brentford and Burnley both on 4 points, and then you got Forest on 5. Then you got Brighton on 5, Newcastle on 5, Man City on 6, us on 7, you know. We're in that good, you know, that pack. And then everyone was talking about, this is the funny thing, a lot of people were talking about how great Sunderland have been. Sunderland at the moment are in 8th on 7 points. We're on the exact same amount of points, but they had an amazing start. We're on the exact same amount of points as Sunderland, but they had an amazing start, and apparently we didn't have a good start. You know, if you listen to some people, we didn't have a good start, but Sunderland had an amazing start. You know, we're on the exact same amount of points. You know, and that's just something. You look at that, and you know, Sunderland. Yeah, they might be ahead of us by points by the end because they got Villa, you know, today. But saying that, you look at that, and you know, you look at the whole table really. Who's like far away? I mean, you got like top of the league, 15 Liverpool. That's all. Yeah, they it looks like they're gonna walk the league. To be honest, right now, I don't think they will. I think. I don't know. It might have to be Arsenal because I feel like, anyway, I feel like Man City, if they don't beat Arsenal, are going to be far away. It's going to be difficult to catch up. But like, you look at the table. So we're on 7. 4th place is Palace on 9. So we're 2 points off 4th. We're 2 points off the Champions League. You know, we're doing well. It's a good start to the season. You know, we're up there. We're up there with a good start of the season. You know, it only takes a couple of good weeks and you could be up there with a little bit of a gap between us and mid-table. Then again, the next 2 games are difficult games against Bournemouth and Spurs. You lose both of those and you're back near the relegation battle. But, you know, this result was a massive win that we did need, basically because of that, in my opinion. It was more massive of a win that we needed because we have a very tough next 2 fixtures before the international break. So yeah, just hope it's not a mention. Yeah, oh yeah, that would be bad. Jeez, Aronson was a mention yesterday. Don't get that. I understand. I just can't be asked. I think the thing is, I think the hate, it comes from. It's not anti-American because that's what Americans try to say. That's the stupidest thing. I think it's because when we first signed him, and it's kind of like people have just got. It feels like people can't let a player play. Players can't play bad. You know what I mean? It's like. You look at certain players, like, yes, when he first came in, he cost, 25 to 30 million. Then we got relegated. But, like, he was good last season. I mean, he was frustrating at times, but he was good last season in the Championship. And I think this season, he's, like, the last time we were in the Premier League, when I can remember, him playing on the right, it was against Crystal Palace. That's like the one game I remember where he played on the right, and he played like he skipped past like 2 of them and set up Struck for a goal. And you look at those kind of things, and his best moments when we were in the Premier League came from him playing on the right. So maybe he's better on the right than in the 10. You know, he isn't a 10 in my opinion. He's more of a player that's been put in the 10 because we played that formation, but he works better off the right. I'm not saying he's not an amazing creator, so I guess there's that. But, you know, I just like his defensiveness. I like how good he is defensively. And yeah, he's always going to work hard. You know, he's always going to run for like the full match. If he has to be on the pitch for 95, 96 minutes, he'll be still running in the 96th minute. I think he wasn't injured, by the way. I think he just had a hammer. Like he had a cramp. I think he honestly just cramped up because I genuinely think, I don't know what the stat is, but I think he ran more than any other player. Like, if I was going to watch that, when I was watching that game, I feel like he ran more than any other player, which is fair. He probably cramped up towards the end of the game. Bielsa wanted Aronson. I wonder if they would say the same thing about him if Bielsa was still here. I mean, I reckon Bielsa would have got an absolute baller out of him. Like he would have been perfect for that system as well. For Bielsa, like Bielsa ball, he would have been absolutely perfect for that. Oh, I just think he would be amazing. Like he's pressing as well. That's why he wanted. You could tell what Bielsa wants. And you're like, yeah, he presses very well. I wonder. Yeah, anyway, I think it would have worked well if he had Bielsa as his coach because yeah. But anyway, we'll move on. What was he up to? This is about Europe. We have analysis. We have analysis the last season and seen what you have to do in this league, but we stay humble. Stay humble, eh? I do not want to speak publicly about this, about our window and our strategy. 7 points is good, but too early to celebrate us and the other promoted sides, which is true. I mean, we knew what we want from the window. We were like, strengthen the midfield, strengthen the defense, get that all sorted. We did want a bit more in the attack that we didn't get, and I'm not going to let I'm not going to just keep on talking about it. I'm going to stay calm and not talk about it. As long as it's going well. If we're back near that relegation zone and we're starting to perform badly and not scoring goals, we'll be back on to the 49ers and for them not signing the players. But at the moment, so far so good. But we just got to remember, you got to keep that in the back of your head. We can't forget about it, We can't go into January and people go, oh, we don't need attackers because we're scoring goals. It is that thing. I still think we need that one attacker, maybe two. Maybe a striker and a right winger. We definitely need a right winger. I like Aronson, and I think I like our wingers. I think we need that X factor winger that we need, but which maybe that's Okafor. Maybe that's Okafor. Maybe Okafor becomes that X factor winger, and we didn't expect him to be that good. Really, I didn't expect him to be bad at all, but I didn't expect him to be. We've seen him against Sheffield Wednesday, and I was been like, oh god. And then he's looked good. He's improved. He looked good against Wolves, and yeah, hopefully he continues playing like that. He does hold on to the ball a bit too much sometimes. Reminds me a bit of Nonto in that sense of like, release it, and he doesn't release it. But yeah, he looks dangerous on the attack whenever he gets the ball and he's running at defenders. So as long as he keeps doing that, yeah, that was basically all Daniel Fark had to say, I think. Yeah, that was all Daniel Fark had to say. But yeah, good performance overall. Also, Anton Stark, of course, scored a free kick, and he's the first player to score his first ever Premier League goal by a direct free kick since Calvin Phillips. So the last time someone scored from a free kick that was their first goal was Calvin Phillips when he did it against West Brom on the final day, which that free kick was terrible, by the way. I remember that free kick. That was a bad free kick. I still do not know how the keeper didn't save it. It just bounced. It bounced. He should have definitely saved it. But yeah, that was the one stat that came up. So yeah. So this is let me get the thing up. We'll get it up here. Here it is. So this was Sofa score. So this is the momentum graph right here. Basically, so basically it was all Wolves in that second half. I don't think it was that bad. I don't think we played that bad in the second half. I thought we actually attacked a bit more than that. I feel like it just doesn't look right. But I mean, it is right, but it doesn't look right for me. I feel like we attacked more. I mean, I don't go off these ratings because Bogle was very good. He wasn't a 6. A 6 is harsh. He played 83 minutes. A 6 is harsh. Darlow was brilliant. I thought Darlow had a great performance. He made one very good save. His goals prevented was 0.31, but that big save he made, I think the ref called it a free kick, so I don't know if that even counts. The one where he tipped it over the bar. I'm not even sure if that counts because he was given a free kick at the end. I think it must have. But yeah, DCL, I thought he was great. Very good performance. Keep performing like that. Keep proving me wrong. I love it. He played the 89 minutes, scored a goal. He probably could have had 2 goals in this game, to be honest. There was a moment where Aronson played him in, and I think his touch let him down, and then I think Bogle got in his way and he was offside, so that was great. He had 36 touches, 11 out of 15 passes. Where's the... Oh, here we go. He won 4 out of 10 ground duels, 3 out of 9 aerial duels. But yeah, he was an absolute... those defenders did not like it. He was all over their defenders, which I really liked his performance like that. And that's what I want to see from him. Just muscle up against defenders, which we haven't had, for a while. We haven't had for, what, 2-3 years. But I mean, when we've had Pirro up front, we don't get that because he doesn't have the strength to battle with centre backs like that. We haven't had that since Bamford. But that's what I like in a striker, or someone that could battle against the centre backs, and he did it brilliantly. He took his goal very well, got between the two of them. I don't even know who it was, but got between the two of them and leaped above him and flicked the header in the back of the net. Great header. He did that very well. But yeah, throughout the game, he would lay it off into the midfield. There was a couple of times where we hit it long, and he would chest it down or head it down, and we'll attack from that. And he did well with that. I thought he did well there. And then you have Ampadu. Ampadu is just a Premier League player. Ampadu is just a Premier League player. You watch him and you can just tell he's a Premier League player. 95% pass accuracy, 53 out of 56, 74 touches, two long balls, both were accurate. And then you got 5 out of 7. He won 5 out of his 7 duels on the ground duels. He won 2 out of his 4 aerial duels. He only lost the ball 7 times. Gave away a foul, 5 clearances, 4 total tackles. But every time someone's near Ampadu, I just feel like he's going to win the ball. Even if he's on the ground, he'll just stick a foot in and win the ball. There was a moment where he did that. He stuck his foot in, won the ball, and then Aronson had a shot that went, over the bar. But it was one of those of he just wins the ball. He'll just win the ball back in a tackle if he's there. Anton Stack I thought was good as well. He was very good. The free kick, I mean, what a free kick. That is definitely our goal of the month. I mean, there's not many. To be honest, I thought we were ready to give our goal of the month to the penalty. But yeah, that's definitely the goal of the month. What a free kick. Got an assist as well. Got the assist for Okafor's goal. Played him in beautifully. I think Sarr should have done better with the Okafor shot. He got a hand to it. Really, he should have saved it. No complaints, and I think Okafor, it was a nice, it wasn't a bad shot, but the keeper should have saved it. It's one of those where he's hit it across nicely, but you got to save it, in my opinion. If that's Darlow, I'm fuming. If that's against us, if that's us, I'm fuming that you don't save that. He had 61 touches, 73% pass accuracy with 32 out of 44. 1 key pass, which was the pass to Okafor. Big chances created, 1, which was the goal for Okafor. Shots on target, 1. Which he scored from. He won 5 out of these 6 ground duels. Lost the ball 16 times. Was fouled twice. 4 clearances, 3 tackles, 1 interception. Really good performance from him. You have these, and then you look at our bench, and it's not the best bench in the world, yeah, but I do like the players that we have on the bench. You have Harrison, who's going to be a very good defensive player, who, especially in games like this, and games where it's going to be tight, and we're winning 1-0, and we're getting towards the 60th, 70th minute, you're get Harrison on, and let's try and play a bit more defensive. Because I think Okafor can track back, but I think Harrison's just better than him at that. That's what he does better. He's a better defensive player on the wing. So in games where we're in tight games, which is going to happen a lot in the Premier League, it's a good person to have, come on the pitch. James Justin, good backup for Bogle. I like him. I don't want to see him starting a lot of games because I think Bogle's good. Hopefully he's not out. But James Justin is fine as a backup. I'm happy. Tanaka, having Tanaka on the bench. Who would have thought before the season started that we would have had Tanaka on the bench? Everyone was predicting Tanaka is definitely going to start every game this season, or most games this season, but he doesn't get back in the team. You have to fight for your place, which is fair for everyone. And then we have players like Gruev, who I like Gruev. I think he's a good defensive player that you can also bring on. He's a good backup for Ampadu. He's not the best player in the world, but I really like Gruev. I think people don't see what he offers. I think he's very safe in a good way. He's people say he doesn't pass forward. He does, but he's a very safe player when he's on the pitch, and he'll basically make the tackle, play the 5-yard pass, and he'll try and get it to when he's playing in the midfield, he'll try and get it to a long stuff, or he'll try and get to a stack as quick as possible because they're the more attacking players, and then he'll do his role in defense, which I like. And even having players on the bench, we've got Pirro on the bench, who I do not know how he sees the pitch, to be honest. I said we should have sold him, and this might be harsh, but I said we should have sold Pirro just because I don't think he's good enough for the Premier League. And I said this, I don't think he's a Premier League player, and I think the most money we could have got for him would have been after scoring 19 goals in the Championship and how good he was. I think his price was at the highest it could have been. in my opinion, of price we could get. We have Yaka, we still have BL on the bench, but that's fair because Strauch and Rodon are playing well and you can't take any of them out. So BL has to wait and fight for his place. I mean, it's really on BL. I mean, he shouldn't even have been banned for the Everton game, but he was. I mean, I think he starts the Everton game if he's not. But yeah, that was harsh on him. But, you know, and then, you know, you got the players that are out. You got Nonto, you got Dan James, who are both out. You know, you got Perry. I don't think Perry should come back in and get in the starting goal. I think he should be on the bench as well because I think Darlow's been brilliant the last 2 games and has earned to keep his spot. You know, 2 very good performances against Fulham and Wolves, making some very crucial saves, and I think he's been good enough where I think he's earned to keep his spot. You've got to fight for your place. Every player has to fight for his place. I don't care how much you cost, what you've done before, what club you've come from. The better player, whoever's performing the best, I want to start because the better performing players should start, which is why I think this is the exact same lineup we'll go with in the next game against Bournemouth, and no one should really be dropped. The only one I could see, and it would be harsh, is maybe you start Jack Harrison instead of Okafor just because you want to try and lock off Semenyo, because Semenyo is a very dangerous player. So maybe that's like the only thing I could see. Maybe want to try and lock off Semenyo, so you start Harrison on the left. But that's like the only change. Yeah, of course, injuries, so like James Justin might have to. But like Tanaka doesn't get back in, Grove doesn't start, Mecha doesn't start, Piro doesn't start, Beal doesn't start. You know, Dan James, if he's fit, doesn't start, Nonto doesn't start. You've got to earn your spot in the team. And I think these 11 that played this game against Wolves earned to keep their spot. They were all, you know, there was not a bad performer out there. Normally in games where we've won, you could pick out 1 or 2 players that didn't play well, but every single one of them played well. And it's one of those things about you could give anyone your man of the match. And I'd be like, yeah, fair play. You can give most players, whoever, you know, you can have like 3, 4, 5, 6 options for man of the match. And I'll be like, yeah, fair. They were good. You know, some people might say DCL. Yeah, I'll be fine with that. It's a Stack. I think it was Stack. Man of the match. That's fine. You know, you have players like, you know, Longstaff I thought was very good. Don't think he was man of the match, but probably in contention. You know, Okafor in contention. Aronson in contention. Ampadu in contention. You know, I think a very good performance. Darlow, of course, again in contention, just like the Fulham game. And yeah, I've been happy with the team's performance overall, and I think we just need to build on this into the next game, which is, of course, against Bournemouth, and then we got Spurs. But yeah, I'm happy with the performance. We got the 3 points. We're up into 11th in the Premier League, which is very good. Ahead of teams like Man City, Newcastle. I know Man City still got to play and Newcastle got to play, but ahead of Brighton. And yeah, I'm very happy with the start of the season, and we'll hopefully push on, and hopefully, fingers crossed that those injuries, you could see injuries are starting to happen, and we're very early on in the season, and injuries are starting to happen, which gets me a bit worried if it happens to our attackers, because when Aronson first went down, I went, oh no, who's going to start on the right now? I was like, oh no, if no one's available, what, are you going to move Okafor to the right and start Harrison on the left? That would be the only option, I think, or you start Harrison on the right, one of the two. That's the only options I could see. And I've liked Aronson and what he's brought in the last 2 games. So yeah, I was a bit worried with that. But yeah, hopefully we get some good news with Bogle being available for the next game. Hopefully we get some good news when Fark does his presser of Daniel James is fit and will be on the bench. You know, Nonto will be fit and be on the bench. Perry will be back on the bench. And hopefully we start building and getting all the players back fit, because that would be nice if they could all come back around the same time. We're nearing another international break, of course, in 2 games, after 2 more games after the Spurs game. So it'd be good to have that thing of like, they're all back fit. Not starting, of course, because they haven't earned their start, because I think the teams, as I said, should stay the same. But what I think is it'll be good to have all of them available on the bench, which it'll be nice going into an international break where we're not worried about when we come back, oh no, this guy's injured, that guy's injured. Maybe Fark lies and says, maybe we do the whole thing of like, no, they're still injured until the international break. So, you know, they don't go play for their international and might get injured on international duty. But yeah, overall, I'm happy with the performance. 3-1 win. Took all of our goals very well. And yeah, I'm just happy because Fark's been getting a lot of criticism, and what Fark said was right. You know, he's getting a lot of criticism with us on 4 points, which in my opinion is a good start. looking at who we've played. You know, you look at who we played to start the season, and you're like, 4 points is a good start. Like, we start off against Everton, and after we beat them, after we beat them on the opening day, you look at Everton, who are in 9th right now. They've lost only 1 game since, and they've played well. They've got 2 wins and a draw. They got 2 since we beat them, 2 wins and a draw, and then a loss. 7 points, same points as us, but they've been good recently. And then we versed Arsenal. They're going to be in a title race. Fine. Then we versed Fulham, and I'm like, we versed Fulham, and I'm like, Fulham are a good team right now. They're on 8 points currently. They're on 8 points up into 7th. They've started the season well. I mean, can't believe we lost that game. I can't believe we lost that game. Really should have at least got a point. We played very well. And then we played Newcastle, who are in the Champions League. So I think we've got a really good start against a bunch of difficult teams to verse. And if you like the stream, make sure to like the stream. If you haven't already, make sure you do subscribe, because we are on the road to the goal of 1K subscribers. So we're getting closer every single day. We're at the moment, we're on, 930 subscribers. So we are getting closer to the mark that we want to get to, which is the 1K mark. Thank you guys for watching. My next video will probably be my Premier League predictions, unless I see something where there's something to talk about. I might make a video tomorrow. If there's something, some type of news to talk about, I might be able to find something. Maybe something about, I don't know. I mean, last week I made a video about Aronson because there was a quote about him being Barcelona level, but yeah, I'll see if there's maybe a video tomorrow. If you guys like the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you all in the next one, which will most likely be the Premier League predictions, and then we roll on to, of course,